morning is 7:04 on this Wednesday, April 10th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome. Here we are on a Wednesday. A little bit of rain falling this morning, but going to be a wonderful Wednesday. Glad to have you with us. And, of course, we're on the Air Force Cedar Stone Bank, Lebanon, Mount Juliet Donaldson, Simple Banking, Simply Better. Bob McDonald is President and Chief Executive Officer, and he's on the phone this morning to talk about Cedar Stone. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Coleman, and it's great to be with you. And I appreciate Billy answering the phone when I called in and getting me connected there in Studio B. And if you will, please pass along my greetings to MJ. I'm sorry I can't be with y'all today. But April's a busy month. We have a lot going on this month, Coleman, and the bank celebrates its 20th anniversary this month, and so we've got some customer and shareholder events scheduled, and so we're looking forward to those. And of course, we have our 26th annual Wilson County Teacher of the Year program that we've been sponsoring with Wilson County Motors for all these years, and so that's got us busy. But man, we're looking forward to that, Coleman. That's coming up here soon. And I think it's the 18th or 19th, Friday night, there in beautiful Baird Chapel on the campus of the great Cumberland University. And they've been our host for all of those years except for the first one. Mm-hmm. They've been hosting us there on campus for 25 years. And as you know, each school building in the county, public, private, city, and county, they each have a Teacher of the Year, so we'll be celebrating. There's 36 Teachers of the Year. We'll be celebrating all of them on that Friday night, and it's a wonderful event. One of those has been selected as the Wilson County Teacher of the Year, and another way that Cumberland supports us on this program, Coleman, is that they make that selection. We turn in the packets, we redact all the information from the packets that might identify who they are. You know, we redact their name, we redact where they went to school, and so they're assigned a number, and so we'll submit that to this committee made up of Cumberland University education faculty. And WP and I, none of us know who's on this committee. We just deliver the packets to Dr. Stum, and then he hands them to the committee chairman. And then they make that selection, Coleman, and when they make their selection, they'll call us and say, we've chosen teacher number 7 or teacher number 23. And so we really like how we keep it confidential in that way. And they're chosen by that committee. They're not chosen by a school board or by a principal or by a school director. And so we just get excited. It's a year-long project, Coleman. As you know, we work on it throughout the year. And we just can't wait for that event to take place and looking forward to celebrating teachers and teaching.
Right. And another thing you probably want to talk a little bit about this morning, because the time to celebrate is fast approaching. You're 20 years, and I think you have a celebration at each of the 3 offices, right? We do. We have a celebration at each office. It's on 3 consecutive Thursdays this month. And, again, our focus is on shareholders and customers. And so look forward to being with those distinguished constituencies of ours, very important constituencies. And so we're looking forward to that. And, again, it's 3 consecutive Thursdays starting tomorrow in Mount Juliet, 5 until 7. And so we just can't wait to celebrate the 20 years and say thank you to those folks for allowing us to serve the communities and to provide a sound investment for our shareholders. Well, let me ask you this. Anytime you start a new business, there's no guarantee you're going to succeed. And I'm sure there's been a bump or two in the road over 20 years. But did you think you might not make it, that you'd fall by the wayside?
Oh, no. You spend about a year in what's called the organizational period, and that's where you're developing your business plan, you're developing and writing policies on how you're going to run and operate the bank, By this time, we've already identified our incorporators and directors, those folks who will be on the board of directors once the bank opens. We start hiring key personnel. And, along the way, we're in conversation with our regulatory authorities, like the FDIC and the Tennessee Department of Financial Institutions. So, when you've got good people behind you and you have a good plan and you're in good communication with your regulatory authorities, you have confidence that the bank would do well, and indeed it has done well over these 20 years. And we're very pleased with that, very proud, and we've had a lot of support throughout these 20 years.
Right. Well, we're just about out of time, but one of the things that's been so good is the free checking account, which you might mention quickly. Yes,
our free checking, it's been free from the time we opened the bank in April of 2004, Coleman. It's completely free. It's if you still want to write checks, you can do that. We provide that. If you want to do your banking with technology, we provide all that as well, whether you do telephone banking or online banking or mobile deposit. And so it's a terrific account, and everyone needs this account, irregardless of your stage in life or what you do. Everyone needs a good checking account, and that's what we have to offer.
All right. Thanks so much for being with us. We'll do it again next Wednesday.
Thank you, my friend. Have a great day.
Bob McDonald, Cedar Stone Bank, Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Donaldson. Simple banking, simply better. And with that, it's 10.5 minutes after the hour. This is the Wednesday that we feature Cumberland University. Rusty Richardson is here. Rusty, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
I'm not sure you've ever missed a Wednesday.
I don't think since we started this. I don't think I have.
Rusty is Executive Director of Community Relations and External Affairs and usually brings a guest or two with him. You do have one today, but there's some topics you want to open up with, I think.
Yes, thanks, Coleman. Always great to be back. It's hard to believe, but our graduation is only 23 days away. Just over 3 weeks, we'll be graduating what we anticipate will be the largest class ever. We're approaching 700 students that will graduate that first weekend in May. So it's going to be a big ceremony. We'll come back and talk more about graduation a little bit later in the program.
Okay.
We have so many, the calendar's so busy right now in these last few weeks of school. And we'll talk about some of those activities. Bob mentioned one of them, of course, the Teacher of the Year that we're always so proud to help with. And that'll be on April the 19th. But I really want to spend time this morning with my very special guest because he's special in so many ways. He's our chaplain.
Yeah.
And his name is Dr. Michael Ripsky. Many people in town know Mike. He spent 40 years in the ministry in the United Methodist Church. His last appointment was here in Lebanon, and he retired from that in 2015 and immediately came to work for Cumberland as our chaplain. And it's somewhat unique for Cumberland because Cumberland is one of the few liberal arts colleges, private schools in the state that's not officially related or connected to a church, to a denomination. It was for most of its history with the Presbyterian Church and then for a short while with the Southern Baptist Convention. But since the late 1950s, it's been non-church affiliated and makes it unique somewhat in the state of Tennessee. So it's interesting to have a chaplain for a non-church affiliated school. I cannot say enough good things about what Mike has brought to our campus, what he's brought to our students, our faculty, our staff. He's just been, that Rock of Gibraltar, so to speak, in so many ways, and wanted really to give him a chance to talk about his experience some, what he's been doing. And unfortunately, he's retiring at the end of this semester. He thinks we're going to let him retire, but we're actually not. But just want to give him a time, almost like a victory lap. Now, he's very humble and very modest, so he's not going to call it a victory lap, but certainly he's had so many victories on our campus and with our students. Just cannot say enough good things about him.
Well, let's talk about that. Dr. Ripsky, it's good to have you. I appreciate you being with us this morning. Did you ask to do this, or were you asked to do it?
First of all, Coleman, I go by Mike. I was Mike in the church, and I'm Mike on campus. I have a little trouble with titles of various sorts. And before I respond, I want to say Rusty and I have a mutual admiration society. Every church I've served, and now at the university, for an institution to work well, it needs someone to help that happen, and Rusty has a gift of helping that happen. You've gotten to know Rusty here on Wednesdays and on campus. He's the grease that keeps the wheels going, and there are a lot of wheels on Cumberland's campus to keep going, and he does it so graciously, but also behind the scenes, so you don't know what's happening, which I guess is a testimony to how well he does it. If you're not aware that it's going on, then he's doing his work really, really well. I have a story that I think I've made up, but it's become real for me. I was still in the church. Paul Stum was very active. In fact, I think he was chair of our administrative council at the time. And I knew he was interviewing for the presidency at Cumberland. And in my mind, I don't know if this actually happened or not, but in my mind, I said to Paul, tell the interview committee that if they'll hire you, you'll create a university chaplain position. I had a little vested interest in that because I've always wanted to be one. Well, I don't know whether he told them that or not, but he did become president, and he did create the university chaplain position, and I have been so grateful to be able to finish my formal ministry in this role on such a campus that allows me to do what I think I have a gift for, and that is, while I'm not based in a particular faith tradition, I do believe that Cumberland is faith-based, especially in the way that we view each other, and we try to create a community in which everyone feels at home, welcomed, safe, and where they can thrive. One of the things that we do at Cumberland, we call them chapel chats, not because they're religious in nature necessarily, but because they are located in our chapel, and it's where we, quote, chat, or where we carry on conversation. The theme for the last several years has been everyone has a story. This is mine, and we invite students and faculty and staff to tell their stories. It's part of the educational process that allows us to integrate what goes on in the classroom with what goes on in the real world. We have so many different students from so many different places at Cumberland, and it allows us to learn about places and traditions and cultures that we never would have an opportunity to if we didn't take advantage of the resources that we have in the students that come to our campus, and the staff and the faculty. Part of that telling our story is to learn how to respect one another, even though we may not understand one another or even agree with each other. I call it an exercise in civil discourse, which I think if we can give our students anything to carry with them out into the real world today, it's an experience of civil discourse, mainly to convince them that it's possible, because sometimes it seems like it's not.
Well, I've got to interrupt you right here because it is time for a break. We'll talk more with Dr. Ripsky and Rusty Richardson in a moment here on Coleman & Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Absolute Kubota. Ride it off the lot. Write it off your taxes. Visit Absolute Kubota. Take advantage of the Section 179 tax deduction when you buy new Kubota construction equipment, tractors, RTVs, hay tools, or turf products. Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. There's a couple of accidents out here that are getting some attention, but let me tell you what I see. Heavy traffic developing on Vietnam Vets westbound as you come from Hendersonville through Sumner County, headed towards Conference Drive. It's loading up again with more volume on 24 westbound out of Murfreesboro, Rutherford County. It is moving, though, better than it was an hour ago, up through the Antioch area on 24, again going westbound. Watch for some radar on I-40 out in Dixon County this morning, headed towards Kingston Springs. Prince's Hot Chicken now has new items on that brand new menu. Order online today at princeshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Are you facing a challenging time that you need help navigating? Well, look no further than your local law firm of Kane and Crowell. At the offices of Kane and Crowell, our team of experienced attorneys is here to guide you through every step of the process. With a proven track record of success and a commitment to our clients and our community, look no further than the team at Kane and Crowell to fight for your rights and provide representation you deserve. 615-784-4800.
Continue here on this Wednesday morning. Thanks for joining us. Again, we're featuring Cumberland University, Rusty Richardson here, but Dr. Mike Ripsky, and he prefers to be called Mike. Pick up where you left off here. You're the university chaplain. You've been doing this for quite some time, about to retire, but you have a story to tell. Like it says here, everybody has a story.
Everyone has a story, and helping our students claim theirs and how it has shaped them for their future. We have what we call a mandatory freshman orientation course. We call it Foundations of Scholarship and Learning. I translate that to how to be a college student and hopefully stay a college student, trying to equip students with those skills that are necessary for college, which is so very different from their previous school experience in terms of discipline, in terms of amount of work, in terms of thinking in ways that they may not have been exposed to. We call it critical thinking. I call it how to process the cognitive dissonance that you're experiencing in college. Many of our students, maybe most even, unless they're international, and that group is growing on campus. Most of us grow up in communities that are very homogeneous, and we think everybody sees things the way we do and thinks the way we do, and then we get to college and we realize that ain't so. And what do we do with the fact that the way we have thought everyone else thinks and our experience that that's not true? What do we do with that? Psychology calls it cognitive dissonance. And so helping them claim their ability to discern their truth is one of our goals at Cumberland. As I tell my students when I'm in class with them, I don't want you to think like I do. I want you to think like you do, which means claiming how you think and then being able to defend it, to be able to answer questions about it so that it's not somebody else's that you've inherited, but is your own and is genuine to you and to who you are and to the life that you are wanting to lead.
Well, you have a cross-section of students, obviously. You have male and female. You have an opportunity to if they, I don't know, I guess they come to you, generally speaking, but you have a lot of people to associate with and to lead in the way that you do.
I do. And I want to, if folks aren't aware of Cumberland's nature, I want to reinforce it. I'm sure Rusty's done a good job of describing who we are. We have a large number of students who are DACA students. They're they're undocumented. They are here kind of tentatively. They live with that, but that doesn't keep them from jumping in and providing leadership for our campus. Since I've been at Cumberland, I think there have been at least 4 students who have served as our student government presidents who are of that status. They live knowing that at any time they might have to go back home, wherever home is, not necessarily for them because the U.S. is the only home they know, but with their parents who are here and who are always kind of skating on thin ice, never knowing what their future holds. I admire these students so much. And then we have students. A lot of our students are from families still. I was a first-generation college student, and we still have a lot of our students who are first-generation, and so college is a new experience for their families. The family cannot be totally supportive because they aren't totally aware of what the college experience consists of, and so these students have to find their own support communities outside of their families, and many of them have to work. Unlike college students when I was in college 1,000 years ago, a lot of our students are working a job or two jobs or more full-time. Yesterday, it breaks my heart. He is one of our first semester students, and he comes in late on a regular basis. Yesterday, I saw he parked where he shouldn't have parked in order to get to class and spend some time with us. And I asked him, why are you chronically late? And he says, I'm trying to work out my job so that I can leave it in time to come to class. So many of our students work full time. Some of them even support their families as well as themselves so that they can go to college. College is a strain for them, and that contributes to. We hear a lot, read a lot about mental health issues by college students, and that stress. The stress of college is enough, but then you add into that the fact that many of them are working. And I continue to be surprised at how many of our students are parents, and so they're taking care of children as well as trying to be students. I admire them so much.
Well, we are fast getting rid of our time this morning. It is flying by. But, Rusty, you've got a few things you want to talk about in closing here.
Yes, just some of those upcoming events. On April the 18th, which is a week from Thursday, week from tomorrow, is our annual Founders Day celebration, where we do some of the Honor Society inductions, recognize and remember one of the founders or a notable alumnus. And we've got some special things this year as far as honoring two professors, one of whom is retired and one of now whom is deceased, with emeritus professorship. So that's always a beautiful ceremony. And that'll be on April the 18th at 2 o'clock, open to the public. Then just a short time after that, our commencement ceremonies, which is actually a 3-day process. On May the 2nd, which is a Thursday, we have our nursing pinning for our nursing graduates. On the next night, May the 3rd, we have the hooding ceremony for our master degree candidates. And then on Saturday, May the 4th, during which it'll be picture-perfect weather so we can have it outside of Memorial Hall, is when we do the commencement with the undergraduates. We do have a commencement speaker this year. We don't have commencement speakers every year, but we're so pleased to announce that Mr. Don Graham is our commencement speaker this year. He only served for 21 years as the publisher of the Washington Post.
Oh.
He and his family, the Graham family, owned the Post since his grandfather bought it in 1933, bought it in bankruptcy, and continued to run it for all those years. It's now under different ownership. But so pleased with what he's bringing to the table as far as his experience. And he also created the largest scholarship nationwide for the students that Mike was talking about, the Dreamers. It's called Dream USA, and that's the largest scholarship fund for those students who are undocumented but continuing their college education. So we're very much looking forward to that. Of course, we're now only about 51 days away from Phoenix Ball. We have less than 50 tickets left. If anybody's interested, they can just go to phoenixball.com, purchase their ticket there. And then a week after that event, we have our annual Symphony on the Lawn concert, which is free and open to the public. That'll be on Saturday, June the 8th. So, again, lots of activities coming up.
Well, it really is. There's one thing we didn't get to with Dr. Rupski here. Mike, you just take about a minute and tell us the lasting effect of COVID on the students. I think that's worth talking about.
I think we are still experiencing it as they live out of it. what we know about human development is that at very critical times in our human development, especially as children and young teenagers, we know that if that development is impeded in any way, there is a lasting effect. I think it creates a need to do remedial growing up, and we do a lot of that in our freshman orientation. We feel like a lot of what we do is to make up for what these students missed during COVID, when their social development, their educational development was impeded by basically isolation.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, it's certainly nice to have you with us today, and
so good to be with you.
Cumberland has enjoyed having you, and we wish you happy retirement. But Rusty may not let you get too far. Any closing comments? We're about out of time, but you can have the last word.
Can't have the last word. Well, just once again, as I said at the beginning, it has been such a pleasure to work with Mike Ripsky, and cannot begin to describe the impact he has had on our students and our student life on campus. We're going to miss him terribly. He's not moving away as far as I know, so we'll still be able to see him around town. But just thank you, Mike, for all you've done and all that you continue to do for all of us at Cumberland University.
He and his wife Kathy were members of the United Methodist Church here in town, and so I've had a chance to know them over time. Yeah.
Well, thank you all both for being with us, and that is it for Cumberland this morning and part one of Coleman and Company. We've got more, and we hope you'll keep it right here, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Bates Ford, get a battery installed on most vehicles. $149.95. Bates Ford, 1780 Franklin Road. Now in traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. I'm watching a working accident up in the Madison area, 65 southbound at Bradley Parkway. It is over to the side, but it's still up there. Nonetheless, heavy traffic trying to get through Hermitage right now, coming in from Wilson County on I-40 westbound. As traffic starts to pick up again there in Wilson County, coming inbound on I-40 out there at the Mount Juliet area. 24 is busy, but moving right now westbound. 24 up through the Antioch area, coming in from Murfreesboro. Princess Hot Chicken now has brand new items on their brand new menu. You can order online today, princesshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Simple banking, simply better. Since 2004, that's been our motto at Cedar Stone Bank. I'm Bob McDonald. We know that financial decisions can sometimes be complicated, but that doesn't mean solutions have to be. Whether you're buying a new home, renovating your existing home, or buying a car, or maybe you're a business that needs to purchase equipment or the building you operate from, we have all the technology that will allow you to do your banking online or on the telephone, or you can come in one of our beautiful branches and see our great people. With locations in Lebanon, Mount Juliet, and Nashville, Cedar Stone Bank. Simple banking, simply better.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
We do have a 100% chance of showers and thunderstorms likely, mainly during this afternoon. Otherwise, mostly cloudy, warming up to about 75. As we head into the overnight, showers and a possible thunderstorm, low down to about 58. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your homeland or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com, where they know auctions. That's a look at your forecast. I'm Stormy Clausen.
And we welcome you to part two of Coleman and Company. It is a Wednesday, and this morning, really, we got a special program here. We got some special people to talk to. I'm building them up a little bit, but Jason Partlow is with us. And Jason, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman. Thank you for having us.
Well, we have you and we have Jack. Jack, good morning to you.
Good morning, Mr. Walker.
And I understand that Grant over here is liking what you're doing so well. He wants to have it on film for posterity or whatever.
Yes,
Said
sir.
He wasn't going to talk, but
a little Facebook post maybe later on. That's what we're looking at.
We really have a lot of ground to cover this morning. People who have been here for any length of time certainly are familiar with Partlow Funeral Home, Partlow Funeral Chapel. Your father actually started this, Jason.
Yes, sir.
One of the two that started in the beginning. What year was that?
1979.
Right. How old were you then?
I was 12 years old.
Okay.
Sure
So
was.
Partlow has been going for a long time, but you have had you've had some peaks and valleys, to say the least. And when the tornado came through a little while back, it did not treat you too well, put it mildly. That's been an experience in itself. Tell us what happened.
Yes, sir. We got the call that night about 1 o'clock. Some of my guys from the fire hall said, we feel like your building is taking kind of a direct hit, and we went out, and of course it did take a direct hit, and we assessed things, and it just kind of moved slowly for a long time, and we're moving forward now and trying not to maybe think of that day. Every time a storm comes by, it's hard not to think of that. Yeah. But we had a lot of help during that time to clean up things and evaluate things. But we're trying to put that behind us, of course, and just move forward, really.
Well, I think people, if they pass by, they see some remodeling is done. The building phase is over. You're back there, right?
We are, yes. We've been back right at a month now, and just trying to, pick back up the pieces where we left off. And 4 years has been a long time. A lot of things have changed around Lebanon, in 4 years. But we feel like that we're getting back on track and looking forward to another 45 years for a third generation coming.
Well, let's talk a little bit about what happened. I mean, we know the tornado came, but having to deal with that and improvise. I mean, there's a lot of improvising that had to go on for you to keep the doors open, so to speak. Jack, you want to talk about that a little?
Sure, yes, sir. So, once we were out, we thought it might be just a few months, and those months turned to years, as you could see now. But we partnered with local church, the Christian Life Chapel, held a lot of services there. We were also located on West Main for the past 4 years, and it worked, but we feel like we're back at full force now, and we just want to thank the community for sticking with us these past 4 years, being understanding, and
there's no place like home, as we say.
Oh, yes, sir.
And even though you persevered, and that's probably a good word. It was persevering, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Hopefully everybody would understand, but you might have, you're a businessman. You may have lost some business because you weren't like you were before due to the storm.
That's true, and also we count it as a blessing because I think just coming from, the building of the funeral home from 79, things didn't change, and you get complacent sometimes about just, being in your building, but being out of it, I think it made us aware of how lucky we were to have the space that we had, and we drew from that as, being a blessing in disguise sometimes too.
Well, I guess some people are wondering, and I've wondered myself, what took so long?
Well, I'll just say it was the perfect storm. It really hit at a time, when COVID played a part in it. I think there was a lot of things that went on with construction materials. We had just a lot of things, and the perfect storm hit. I can't rule out or rule one thing as being significant for the length of time, but we just think it hit at the right time, and it just all happened.
All right. Well, let's talk about the finished product now. What is different, and you want to do that, Jack?
Yeah, sure. So we kept most of the base layout the same. We still have 2 chapels and a main sanctuary with traditional pew seating. We did expand a little bit with the rise in cremation. We've seen that over the past few years. We actually initiated a cremation showroom to cater more to those individuals. We rearranged a few of the rooms just to like Dad said, we'd been there since '79. Not many things had changed, and just the way that people interact at visitations and funerals had changed a little bit, and we wanted to provide a higher level of comfort when people come in. So we did a few things there, but when people come, they'll still recognize the old funeral home, but I feel like they'll also appreciate the modernity of it and the rise in things we've done to make it more comfortable.
What was there a particular date when you said we're finished, we're back here? What or did you've had a funeral or two, I guess, by now?
We have. I think we just kind of put it in our head that we wanted to be back in, before 4 years actually hit. So it was 3 days before actually the 4-year date hit, and we said we're moving back in. We're so close. And it's been a challenge just to get back into the building and get things set up. Mm-hmm. Even though we moved back in, we still didn't have some of the things that we needed. Couches we had to order, and chairs, and some things like that. And like Jack said, we wanted to make it to where the building seemed homely, like it was when you walked in, and also roomy. Because with visitations and people coming in, you don't want maybe a lot of things in the way of being in the crowd control, people coming in and just having room for them. And I think we have done that, tried to do that, of course. But we were ready, more than ready to get back in. So we just kind of set that date. And
there are times when you may have 2, maybe even 3 funerals that are very close together. Or how are you prepared for that?
Well, like I mentioned, we do have the 2 chapels, and we just kind of work around it. We try to schedule. Being in the business 45 years, we can kind of somewhat predict timetables of funerals and visitations, and we just try to work those things around. But we're definitely more adept to deal with multiple services in a day now than we were. So we're really happy about that. And I think that's what we're most happy about, is just being at full strength, being able to offer those that trust us with their loved ones everything that they need.
Right. Well, we might talk a little bit. We got about 3 or 4 minutes before we go to a break here. But the service that you offer. But one thing that has changed, you alluded to it already, the fact that cremation is becoming more commonplace. It happens all the time, and of course you have to keep up with the times. What have you done about that?
Well, we were out here about 5 years ago and talking about opening that up in 2019. And
opening the crematory.
Opening the crematory in 2019. And then, of course, the tornado hit in 20. But opening that up has allowed us, I always say that your loved one never leaves our care. And I think that's important to people that come to us, that we don't outsource that, and we have a facility that we can bring people into. And a lot of things have changed with that, because some people, and I say this all the time, maybe you don't get to see your loved one when they pass. Maybe you're out of town or something happens of that nature. And some people have to have that closure. And so having that person there on site and having our crematory there, we're able to provide that as well, that maybe you see your loved one before that takes place. And I draw to that as being one of the best things that we have ever done.
Everybody doesn't have their own crematory, right?
Right, yeah, they don't.
But you decided that you wanted yours.
We did, yeah.
Yeah, as far as people's loved ones not leaving our care, that's important. And also just us having control over the whole process, ensuring that everything's done to our level of expertise. I don't want to say perfection, but we want to do everything to a high quality, and that ensures that we're able to do that for the people we serve.
So you're really pleased to be able to offer that, and I would think you feel that's going an extra step to take care of those who trust you with.
I do feel that way, yeah, because that was something earlier on that we probably wasn't in control of completely, even though we trusted who we used at the time for cremating, it's all in-house, and we just feel strongly that was a good part of the business that we were lacking, and we needed to do that for sure.
As you look to the future, you think this is going to be an even more way of doing it? It's really, I think there are more cremations now than there were when this kind of started a few years ago. I mean, not that it really, I mean, I guess we've had it for a long time, but it's become more prevalent, let's say. And will it continue to even be more prevalent than it is today?
Well, I feel like that it may be. I feel like there's probably a point where it's kind of maybe cut off. It's gotten probably around the 35 to maybe 40%. Here in the Bible Belt, what you call Middle Tennessee area. Maybe out in the western states, it could be as high as 80%. I think it just takes on maybe like just where you're at, for that point. But it could rise higher, here. But we also know that traditional funerals are still a thing. And I think along with cremation, a lot of people don't understand, too, that you can also have the body embalmed. You can also show the body, and the body can be cremated after that. And so many people are doing that even for closure. And I think that's maybe something that people don't know about. I think that, you have to educate those people so that they have options. And we want to do that very much so, to give them options.
Okay, time for us to take a break. Jason Partlow, Jack Partlow are with us, Partlow Funeral Chapel. Is it Partlow Funeral Chapel, Partlow Funeral Home?
Well, my dad always said we want to call it Partlow Funeral Chapel because no one lives there. And so he did not want it to be a home, I think so many places were houses, were homes, even the place that we were at, it was a home at one time on West Main, but I think that was one thing that he stuck with, that it was a chapel, and he built it because of that reason, that it was not a home and it was a chapel.
All right, so it is still Partlow Funeral Chapel.
It is Partlow Funeral Chapel.
I just wanted to say it right.
Yeah, I know. I understand.
Right. Well, Jason and Jack Partlow here from Partlow Funeral Chapel. A break, and we'll talk more in a moment on Coleman and Company FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks, Absolute Kubota. Write it off the lot. Write it off your taxes. Visit Absolute Kubota. Take advantage of the Section 179 tax deduction when you buy new Kubota construction equipment, tractors, RTVs, hay tools, or turf products. Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Putting the final touches on this earlier crash in Madison on 65 southbound here at Briley Parkway. It is over to the side. Still a lot of volume coming in through Hermitage right now as we check it out live on 40 West at Central Pike. All this traffic's being pushed in right now from Wilson County through Hermitage into Donaldson. It remains heavy, but it's moving at the moment. 24 West out of Rutherford County, Murfreesboro, up by Bell Road, Haywood Lane. Again, that's still pretty crowded at times in certain sections there on 24 West, headed towards Nashville, again coming in from Antioch. A 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services here in Middle Tennessee. Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Gregory Dental Group in Lebanon is in a new location, 1746 West Main in Lebanon, across from Sports Village. Gregory Dental Group offers cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on a compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs.
No insurance? No problem. Call about the discount plan. Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322.
We continue here on this Wednesday morning. It is. We're talking Partlow Funeral Chapel with Jason Partlow, Jack Partlow. Grant Partlow is here, but filming this for posterity, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, we've talked about the fact that you endured the tornado. You have pretty much remodeled and rebuilt, and you're back in business now and welcoming people to the place right there on South Cumberland. And, of course, the third generation of family funeral directors. Jack, you and Grant are third generation.
Yes, sir.
Jackie Partlow was your grandfather.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And we are certainly glad to have you here. But what some other things we want to talk about this morning? One of the things I think you for sure want people to know about this and to talk about some pre-planning. And I mean, maybe it's not for everybody, but it probably could be just about for everybody if they really want to get ahead of the curve and really have a say in things. And so you do it all the time, don't you?
Oh, we do, yeah, most definitely. And I think with my sister Janae and Jack are pre-need agents, and so Jack can probably tell you a little more about what their plans are for the future for that moving forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, I agree with you 100%. I think pre-planning your funeral is a wonderful gift you can give to your loved ones. We see it a lot, and it's not anyone's fault, but people will come in when their loved ones pass, and it's already difficult when you lose someone, but also making all those decisions and trying to make decisions that you think your loved one would have wanted is always difficult on people. And we see when people pre-plan that there's almost just a piece about the families. Like, we know mom did this or dad did this. We know this is what they wanted, and now we can just come and celebrate their life and grieve their loss.
Well, let me interrupt you. I want you to talk more, but
Yes,
there's
sir.
something we have not mentioned. This is my fault, but looking at my notes here, you've got a reopening, and we really want people I want to mention it now. I want to mention it again before we quit.
Yes, absolutely.
Sunday, May the 5th.
Yeah, we're looking May the 5th from 2 to 4, and we want everyone to come out and take a look at the renovated facility and just walk around, and I think we'll have some goodies to give away, and we want people to come and look at the place and know that if they use us or are there, that what we can provide them, I want them to see that before they have to see it, and
well, I think there's nothing better for what you have been through than to have such a grand reopening so that people can do that very thing and come, if they haven't seen you in a while, get reacquainted even.
Yeah, absolutely. We hope we have a lot of people come out, and we'll have it to where when you come in, we want to make a whole tour of the facility. So we want to walk you through every space that we have right there that's available for their use, and just make it a good day. We really
Well,
do.
Jack, no doubt you're looking forward to that too.
Yes.
And,
Yes, sir.
Making a few more friends.
Yes, sir. Going to try to, for sure. Yes.
But Sunday, May the 5th, from 2 to 4.
Yes.
Now back to the pre-planning. How does that work? Somebody maybe has some questions, not even sure they want to do it.
Sure.
You will tell them the pros and cons, if there are any cons. I don't know.
Yeah.
It depends on whether somebody wants to do it or not more than anything else, doesn't it?
Sure, yes, sir. And, we always encourage folks, sometimes the financials aren't right for people to pre-plan and prepay. But we always encourage people just to come by and make your wishes known, just that aspect of it. If you can't relieve the financial burden, just relieving the decision burden can be huge for your family. So we encourage people to do that first and foremost. But if you are able to go ahead and take care of your funeral financially, we actually offer, and most funeral homes do, where the price can be locked in at today's prices. So, I mean, you see how things have risen in the past 3 or 4 years.
Oh, yes.
I mean, it's insane. So, if you can lock in a funeral today, you're gonna save a lot of money, especially, depending on how many years you live. We all hope we live a long time, but, it can really be a cost saving. And we offer, a lot of different options as far as payment for funerals. Many people can't pay all up front for a funeral. A funeral is expensive. It's a major life event, but we can separate those payments into months or years and make it where it's affordable for that person on a monthly basis, and so they're able to offer that to their families.
Well, I would think some people might sit down and you do this maybe in an hour or two or a fairly short time. But I'm thinking others who have more difficult time making decisions, maybe haven't really thought it through. I mean, how important is it to do this? Do you give them a period of time if they need it?
Yes, sir. Yes. If someone's interested, say they just want to hear their options, we encourage them to stop by the funeral home, and we can just give them some literature, some photographs of things. We can show them kind of around our chapel, take them through what's usually included in a funeral, prices, things like that. Just give them acquainted, because most people aren't familiar with funerals until it's that time. You don't want to think about it. No one wants to think about it, but it's an inevitable part of life, and it's something that we all have to deal with at some point. And I just think it's better to deal with it, yourself, give that gift to your family.
Do you have any idea what percentage of people do this?
I don't know the exact percentage. I know a much higher percentage think it's a good idea than actually end up doing it. They've got statistics on that, which, like I said, it's hard to think about. But I've never had anyone pre-plan and say that was a bad thing. I regret that. I mean, every single time someone pre-plans, it's almost like a weight's lifted off their shoulder. They can breathe a little bit easier. It's just a good thing. Yeah. It really is.
Well, we were talking about inflation. What's inflation done to the funeral business? Just like everything else, it's gone up quite a bit in the last 2 or 3 years.
I think it has. I think your caskets maybe have stayed in a pretty moderate, consistent rise. Services, I think a lot of times we're based off of our services more than our merchandise, because I think that's what the funeral home is all about, is service, giving good service to those families that choose you. And I think we would be out of business if we didn't give good service. I think that's where we're based out of, and I think that we offer a good service and are attentive to those families. And, our motto's always been, since 79, is dedicated to those that we serve. And we try to be dedicated, and, we try every way to make those families feel, good.
Yeah. You have a family business here. I guess there are advantages and disadvantages to that. But you are a pretty close-knit group, aren't you?
We are, yes, absolutely. And I wanted to talk about that, being, a third generation. Of course, me and my sister, my wife is there, and, they're all licensed. Both of them are licensed funeral directors. And, of course, both my sons and my sister's son, Hunter, is there. And then we can't forget about the monarch, which is my mom, which has been there from day one, So she is there, and it is a family affair. And we do draw real strength from that. Because we cover each other, and we can depend on each other. And establishing that long ago, my dad felt like that was a really good thing, and we have kept that going.
Jack, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I feel like I hope people can feel the family energy when they come to us. That love, that when you're in the arms of family, you feel taken care of. And we hope that the energy within our business, being a family business, transfers over to the folks that we're able to serve. I hope when they come in, they feel that family love and energy, and just grasps that we can give.
Got a couple of minutes left. I think we need to move back or bring up one more time your grand reopening set for Sunday, May the 5th. It's going to be a big day for Partlow Funeral Chapel.
It's going to be a big day. We're looking for a good crowd to come in and just walk through the place and pick up a gift that we may have, a couple of gifts, and take those with you, and just see what we're about, what the place is about. Because I think too, moving forward, you're looking at Lebanon's growth. There's so many people that I have no idea who they are,
Yeah,
and
right.
you can't rest on
what we've done in the past. We're moving in the future, and there's so many families out there and people out there that I don't even know that have moved to Lebanon. So we would love, for them in a relaxed setting like we're going to have, to just come out and take a look at the place for sure.
Right, and even though you've done some rebuilding, it's not going to be just like it was. So with your experience over the years, a few changes you have made that you probably said 20 years ago, well, I wish we'd have done this when we built. And so you've had an opportunity to make some subtle changes like that.
Subtle changes, yeah, absolutely. And I think, too, the big change for us is just adding some things as far as some lighting that we did, the way that we present videos now, which is big part of the service. We have, capability of putting those in various places all over the chapel, in both chapels. And, it's really something we tried to take a look at and do with a perspective.
All right. Well, just keep that date in mind. Sunday, May the 5th from 2 to 4, Partlow Funeral Chapel, newly rebuilt and newly remodeled, and the whole family's going to be there, right?
Yes, we're all going to be there.
Thank you all for being with us today. And it's really good to see you, and glad that you're back totally on your feet again.
We appreciate that.
All right.
Sir. Thank you.
That is it for a Wednesday. Hope you'll join us tomorrow for Coleman and Company. Till tomorrow, I wish you a wonderful day.